Divorce is a difficult and emotional process, and if you and your spouse own a home together, selling that home can add another layer of complexity to an already challenging situation. In this video, we'll walk you through the process of selling a marital home during a divorce, from determining ownership and equity to setting a fair sale price and making temporary living arrangements. We'll also discuss some of the legal and financial considerations that come into play when selling a home during divorce, so that you can make informed decisions and protect your financial interests throughout the process while maintaining productive communication. Whether you're considering selling your marital home or you're in the midst of a divorce and need to sell your home, this video will provide you with valuable insights and practical tips to help you navigate this challenging time. Let's get started. Welcome to the Divorce and Real Estate Expert, where we provide guidance on divorce and real estate topics. If you're going through a divorce and you've come to the conclusion that you have to sell the marital home, to put it mildly, you probably have a lot on your mind. That's to be expected, but there are folks out there trained to help you through the process. Let's start with an overview of the process and see if we can't answer some of your questions and ease the anxiety just a bit. First, we're going to make some assumptions, despite what we've been told about what happens when you assume. The very nature of divorce dictates that there are nearly uncountable variety of situations, and a video that addresses all of them would be a fool's errand. So let's narrow things down just a bit. For the purposes of this video, we're going to assume that you've established that the marital home is not a premarital asset, which would happen if the property was purchased solely by one spouse before the date of marriage and not commingled with marital funds, which we discussed in our previous video about who keeps the marital property in a divorce. We're also going to assume that both parties are on board with the sale of the property, because if one party has to be forced into it, then it's an entirely different ball of wax. Our final assumption is that you and your spouse have agreed on the percentage of the proceeds each spouse will receive. Obviously, who gets how much is a hugely impactful topic, but that's a topic for another day. If you've read up on the subject of selling the home during a divorce, you may find that the first topic I address may differ from others. Yet, my first order of business is the crucial topic of communication. Set yourself up for success by having open lines of respectful communication between yourself and your spouse. Determine the method, frequency, and timing of communication that best suits your personalities, comfort levels, and abilities to be productive. I would suggest documenting your communications. A simple text document that's collaborated between the parties, whether it's executed via Google or Apple's Pages, can provide a space to get all of those questions that are floating around in your head onto paper so that they can be systematically answered and referred back to later when memories may be fuzzy. Pro tip, always frame your written communications as if they're going to be read by a judge or mediator, as they very well may be. Be respectful and professional, even if you're the only one doing so. These communication preferences can carry forward to your realtor, mediator, financial advisor, and any other advisors you may leverage throughout this process. Next, determine what is going to go into the sale and what is going to come out at the end. Here's what I mean. The state or jurisdiction in which you reside, whose name is on the deed, and whose name is on the mortgage will determine which spouse or spouses will need to sign the real estate contracts and possibly a quitclaim deed, depending on the particulars of the transaction. There are realtors such as myself who are focused on helping divorcing couples through this process. Myself or a colleague would be more than happy to walk you through this process and answer any resulting questions. Now, when it comes to the proceeds of a sale, there needs to be a clear plan on where the proceeds will be dispersed. You may have a separation agreement authorized by the court which stipulates how the funds will be allocated, which will need to be strictly adhered to. If there is not a separation agreement and you've agreed on what percentage of the sales proceeds each spouse will receive, I would strongly suggest that each of you has a bank account in your name only, which only you can access, where the funds can be dispersed directly to upon completion of the sale. This distribution plan can be baked into the closing day process and agreed to in advance, so the funds go directly to the appropriate party right after closing. Again, if the court has dictated where the funds go, follow their instructions. If not, I would suggest not putting the proceeds into a joint account both spouses have access to. There may be recourse if one spouse gets sticky fingers, but why spend money and time to fight a battle you can simply avoid in the first place? Okay, you've got your communication in check. You know who needs to sign what documents, and you know where the funds will be allocated once the transaction is completed. Now, it's more of a traditional real estate transaction. Your agent will advise on suggested repairs or improvements which may generate a positive return on investment, whether conducted by a hired professional or handled by yourself, which are totally up to you. You don't have to do anything if you don't want to. You'll talk about staging, the price at which the property will be listed for when it hits the market, timing of the listing, and the open house, if applicable, as well as the process for reviewing and selecting the winning offer. Put some thought into how you will resolve differences when it comes to negotiating an offer. Expect some friction in this process, but your agent can help guide you to the offer with the combination of the best terms and the highest likelihood of successfully closing. Remember, just because an offer is accepted doesn't mean it will make it to the closing table, so lean on your agent here for guidance. Now, this may seem like a lot of steps and a lot of what ifs, and you'd be right thinking that. However, each step in isolation can be handled so you put one foot in front of the other, one step at a time, and you'll get through it. The key here is to have the right agent and the right team of professionals. If you need a recommendation, feel free to reach out to me. I have a network of agents across the country who I know to be caring, compassionate, patient experts in this particular area, and I would love to make introductions and help out where I can. Thank you for watching. And if you'd like some insight into the process of valuing real estate assets during a divorce, then click the first link in the description below. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more tips on navigating divorce and real estate. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below and we'll be sure to respond. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.